What's up everybody? Simon here. In this episode of Tech Visibility, we're going to go ahead and review the Logitech C615 Logitech Portable HD Webcam. This is a 1080p portable webcam with 30 frames per second. We're going to go ahead and review and unbox it, and we're going to compare it to the C922 Pro and of course the Logitech 4K Brio in the same video, so you could see how well the quality of the C615 camera is. This is actually one of the more affordable webcams at 30 frames per second. May not be a bad choice for you. The box is kind of big, so it's a big box. So before I get into unboxing this, please go ahead, remember to hit the like button. It's the biggest favor you could do for us. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, and check out techvisibility.com for the latest product news and reviews. Okay, so the box is pretty big. I mean, I've unboxed some other webcams, and this is probably the biggest webcam box I've seen. This does have autofocus as advertised. This is made by Logitech. Simple plug and play. Fluid screen autofocus, HD light correction, built-in noise reducing mic, which is really interesting. So we'll see how this does in a low light setting. There's a 78-degree field of view. Now the C922 does have 60 frames per second at 720p. However, the C615 does not, just 1080p at 30 frames per second. So let's get this unboxed. All right, it opens like this, and there she is right out the front, huh? I've never seen that before. Usually they're inside the box, kind of put away so that you wouldn't have to reach out for them or grab them, etc. And it looks like this one pulls open like so. So very interesting packaging. I don't know how to get this out. Yeah, very interesting packaging. So this part comes out and this part comes out. So pretty cool so far. I mean, the packaging I think is overkill for the size. There's nothing else in here. So you got this big old frame. You have your instruction manual. You have all this packaging just for a little camera that's this big. I thought we were gonna get a bigger camera. There is a sticker here that you wanna make sure you peel off. That's to protect the camera. But the swivel left and right is actually very impressive on this camera, and you could swivel pretty much almost all the way around. Oh, you can't swivel all the way around. That is neat. I like that about this webcam. And in here, you also have your tripod mount. So for $30 or so, typically these cost $69, but you could get it for $30 on Amazon. You got a pretty cool camera, one hinge, swivel hinge, and a folding mount to the top. You could even just mount it like this or put it like that so that you can get a full, it could just lay there next to you on your laptop and you would get a good video. The cord, I love Logitech includes a pretty lengthy cord, and they include a zip tie here or a Velcro tie. That's a pretty long cord. I like this size cord. We're gonna go ahead, plug it in. This is the part that covers up, I don't know why they would have that, covers up that tripod connection, but very impressive. Now we're gonna record obviously with the Logitech C615, see how she does. But overall, I'm very impressed, particularly with the swivel of this webcam, with the positioning where you could mount it or put it next to your laptop, etc. at an angle. The cord, be careful, can get away in the swivel and can be pinched. I've seen that happen right here. So check this out. If you twist, you're gonna pinch your cord. So that happened and it kind of indented the cord. Make sure you don't cut it off. Just for you guys, food for thought when you're putting this camera together. Another thing is it doesn't fold back all the way because of that cord being on the back. I wonder if they could put it on the side to avoid it and have even a full folding flat camera. But it sits really well, okay? So let's get this plugged in, let's get this reviewed and see how she does. At first what I'm going to do is compare it to the A6400, which is my main camera that I film things on. And then I'm going to go ahead and compare it to the C922 Pro. I'm going to take a picture here for you guys to show you the cameras. After I compare the C615 to the A6400 in both natural light settings or high light settings and then a low light setting, I'll compare it to the C922 Pro and the Logitech 4K Brio, so you could get an example to see if a camera of $30 is as good as a camera of about $100 and then maybe even $200. Now, as a plug and play, it just shows up as a HD Webcam C615 in your drop down. You could use this camera for any meeting that you have, such as Zoom meetings, Google Meets, you name it, Ring Central meetings. This has an ability to pretty much use the C615 in all of your meetings, and it's really portable. Now, I will also record the audio of the C615 by Logitech so you can see how it sounds. Here we go, guys. We're recording on the C615. There's a blue light indicator that shows it's recording. This is how I look in the recording itself. Hopefully you guys appreciate the quality of the C615 webcam. So far it looks good. There is I turned up the gain on the mic pretty much to the fullest so you could hear it in natural sound. Hopefully this sounds great. Now I'm going to compare it obviously to the C922 next. Before I do that, I always try to do a low light comparison because not everyone has a lot of light. Here's me just turning on off one of the lights and then another light, and this is kind of the low light setting of the C615 on my A6400. You can see how dark it is in the room in comparison to the C615 filming the same lighting around me. So you can see how well it actually works in low light, and I don't think it's bad, to be honest with you. So now let's switch to the C922 Pro so you could compare the sound, and then you could also compare how I look in the camera as well. Now remember, this is a 1080p 30 frames per second. I'm moving my hands around a lot so you can see how smooth the frames are as well, and hopefully it does a good job. Okay, now we're recording on the C922 Pro. This is one of my favorite cameras. I would say the Brio is the favorite within this price range. We just recorded a C615, which is almost more than half the cost off. So typically you could get it for around $30. It sells for $69.99, but right now Amazon's showing it for $29.99 for the C615. The C922 Pro, let's take a look. Right now on Amazon for $85, typically $99. So the C615 Pro, you could compare in terms of quality, the movement, the frames per second, the smoothness of the video. Again, I'm in low light right now. You could see that on the A6400. Here's how I look with all the lights on. The C922 adjusts. The microphone is being recorded from the C922 and played from the C922, so you could get an audio comparison to make a best judgment. So far, the C615 is not a bad camera, definitely an upgrade, but you could be the decision maker to see if it's worth stepping up to also a 1080p camera, which is the C922 Pro, which is also 30 frames per second at 1080p or 60 frames per second at 720p, and actually works with Logitech webcam software that will allow you to have some type of settings there as well. Next, we're going to go ahead and compare the Logitech 4K Brio so you can see the smoothness of that camera in comparison to the C615. Okay, so this is the Logitech 4K Brio cam. So you can see how well this sounds. You can see how well it looks. The 4K Brio is one of my favorite cameras. It's one of my favorite low light cameras. Again, it's a 4K camera versus a 1080p camera. The Brio 4K does 30 frames per second at 4K and 60 frames per second at 1080p. That's the big difference. I should be much smoother in my movements. It should be a very well rounded camera, and probably the best you could get for that price range right now. Now let's turn off the lights. Let's see how it looks in low light in comparison to the C922 as well as the Logitech C615, and this is how it looks, guys. I hope you enjoy to see these comparisons. And then this is the A6400 professional camera I'm looking at, which you could tell how dark it is in the room, yet the Brio does a great job adjusting for the light and making the light very well ambient enough to see me in a low light setting. And you're going to be in a low light setting because you can't always control the lighting around you. So right now we're recording the audio from the Brio as well, so you can see how well their microphones do in comparison to the C615 and the C922 Pro. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me turn on the lights. That's pretty much it, guys. That was the C615 review. Logitech C615 is compatible with Skype, Google Hangouts, Google Meetings, Zoom, you name it. It's got a 360-degree tilt feature, so you could spin the camera around. Be careful doing that with the cord. Overall, it works with Windows and Mac. It's a simple plug and play and select from the drop down which camera you like. Overall, very impressed. You be the judge. Give us a like for the hard work in this video. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Check out techvisibility.com for the latest product news and reviews. And this was the C615 Logitech camera, portable webcam that's 1080p with the swivel. You can't beat it for the price, I think. And overall, it did a great job, but you be the judge. Thank you for watching. Again, thanks for your support. On to the next video. I hope this made your decision in buying a lot easier.